The distant wail of a scorching guitar solo, raw and untamed, seemed to echo in Charles Farrington's mind as he settled into bed. Tonight, his chosen anchor was a small, smooth glass guitar slide, its surface cool and slick against his palm. It felt like a conduit to pure, unadulterated blues power, a perfect link to the legendary musician he intended to meet. He closed his eyes, allowing the familiar currents of sleep to draw him into the deeper, more profound reality he had cultivated. He opened his eyes to the familiar, comforting glow of the summoning room. The gaslights cast their warm, flickering illumination across the rich velvet and polished mahogany, highlighting the eclectic collection of curios. William the parrot, perched on his stand, swiveled his head, his beady eyes fixing on Charles. "All right, Charles, here comes the Texas tornado," William squawked, a knowing glint in his eye. "Hope he doesn't melt the furniture with those licks." Charles merely offered a faint smile, ignoring William's usual commentary. He walked directly to the ornate mirror, the glass guitar slide clutched firmly in his hand. This simple tool, a catalyst for searing blues, felt perfectly suited for tonight's guest. He began the familiar incantation of the invocation dream spell. "From slumber's depth and thought's embrace, I call you to this dreaming space. Reflect in glass, a truth in mind, and leave the world you left behind." Quote. As the last word echoed, Charles reached for the 2-hour-glass on the mantelpiece and turned it over, the fine sand beginning its slow, inexorable descent. The mirror's surface swirled, not with a placid image, but with a vibrant, almost blinding flash of white light, the blur of fast fingers on fretboards, and the phantom roar of a roaring crowd. Then, a figure materialized within the depths, a man of striking appearance, with a shock of long, flowing white hair, piercing blue eyes, and a lean, almost wiry frame that seemed to vibrate with contained energy. It was Johnny Winter. His spectral image was clad in a simple, dark shirt and jeans, and he looked around the room with an expression that was a complex mix of intense focus, a hint of weariness, and an underlying, restless passion. He solidified, standing silently beside the plush leather armchair. Johnny's gaze swept over the opulent parlor, lingering on the polished surfaces and the quiet corners, a stark contrast to the raw, smoky stages he once dominated. He took a deep, phantom breath, a slight, almost imperceptible nod of recognition. "Well, I'll be," Johnny drawled, his voice a low, gravelly rumble, thick with a Texas accent. "This ain't exactly a juke joint, is it? You the cat who's runnin' this show, brother? Or am I just dreamin' up another wild ride?" Charles bowed slightly, a genuine sense of awe in his demeanor. "Mr. Winter, I am Charles Farrington. This is the summoning room, a place where the veil between worlds is thinned. Please, be seated." He gestured to the leather chair. "Might I offer you refreshment? Perhaps a cold beer, or a strong coffee? In this place, the senses are as keen as they were in life." Johnny's eyes lit up with a spark of genuine interest. "Cold beer, now you're talkin', man. Been a long time since I had a good one." He accepted the spectral glass, his fingers closing around it with a satisfying weight. He took a long, appreciative swig, his expression one of profound, almost visceral satisfaction. That's the real deal. You got a cool setup here, Mr. Farrington. Real cool." He settled into the armchair, a relaxed intensity in his posture. Charles took his own seat, a notepad resting on his knee. "Mr. Winter," he began, "your guitar playing was legendary, searing, lightning fast, and deeply rooted in the blues. Your slide work, in particular, was revolutionary. How did you develop that unique, electrifying style?" Johnny leaned forward, his gaze distant, as if seeing the fretboard before him. "Man, it was just feelin'. Always feelin'. The blues, it ain't just notes, it's a story. And the slide, it just lets you sing that story, lets you bend those notes, make 'em cry, make 'em scream. I listened to all the old masters, Muddy Waters, B.B. King, Robert Johnson. I just tried to take what they did and push it, you know. Add a little more fire, a little more speed, a little more Texas grit." He took another sip of beer. It was about making the guitar talk. Making it moan. Making it tell the truth. No fancy tricks, just pure, raw emotion coming through the wood and the strings. That's the blues, man. That's what it always was. Your stage presence was incredibly intense, a whirlwind of energy, Charles observed. You seemed to pour every ounce of yourself into each performance. What was it like to connect with an audience on that raw, visceral level? Johnny's expression softened, a hint of the pure joy he once knew. Man, that was everything. When you're up there, and the music's just flowin', and the crowd's with you, feelin' every note, it's like a big, beautiful conversation. You give 'em everything you got, and they give it right back. It's a communion, man. A real spiritual thing. For those few hours, nothing else matters. Just the music, the feeling, the connection. That's the real high, man. That's what I lived for. William the parrot let out a series of approving squawks. Play it loud, play it proud. Johnny chuckled, a genuine warmth in his eyes as he looked at William. You got it, little fella. You understand the language. You were a fierce champion of the blues, Charles continued. You brought it to new audiences, collaborating with legends like Muddy Waters. What drove that dedication to preserving and evolving the blues tradition? Johnny's gaze grew more serious, a deep respect in his eyes. The blues, man, that's the root. That's where it all comes from. Rock and roll, jazz, soul, it all goes back to the blues. It's the truth, the pain, the joy, the struggle, all rolled into one. It's sacred music, and those old cats, like Muddy, they taught me everything. It was my duty, my honor, to carry that torch, to keep that fire burning, and to show people where the real heart of the music was. You gotta respect the past to build the future, you know. And the blues, it's timeless. It's always gonna be there, telling its story. He finished his beer, setting the glass down. I just wanted to play the blues, man. Play it honest, play it hard. And if I could turn a few more folks on to the real deal, then that was a good day's work. The last grains of sand tumbled through the 2-hourglass on the mantelpiece, a stark reminder of the dream's temporal limits. Charles felt the familiar, gentle tug of the waking world. Mr. Winter, Charles said, rising respectfully, our time is at an end. Your music and your dedication to the blues continue to resonate powerfully. Johnny Winter nodded, a final, almost weary but deeply satisfied smile playing on his lips. He gave a slight shrug, a gesture of acceptance. His spectral form began to shimmer, growing translucent, his simple clothes fading into nothingness. With a final, almost imperceptible, phantom slide across an unseen fretboard, he dissolved into the shimmering air, leaving behind only the faint scent of old paper and the quiet echo of a blues legend's fiery soul. The summoning room began to fade around Charles, the gaslight dimming, the curios blurring into shadow. He felt the familiar, gentle pull of his body. He opened his eyes, the morning light filtering through his bedroom window. The glass guitar slide lay on his chest, cool against his skin. He sat up, pulled on his robe, and reached for his journal, his mind already racing to capture the raw power, the profound artistry, and the enduring passion of Johnny Winter.